Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to cover about defining legal jurisdiction in the system, then legal authorities, then legal entities, legal addresses, and then legal reporting units. I have already logged in into system, which you can see on the screen, and then I am going to go to functional setup area. For that, I'm going to click on my user name, and then I'm going to click on setup and maintenance, get into functional setup area. Here I am. Since I'm covering financial part setups from implementation project perspective, I have to ensure that the financial area is selected as part of setup. And we are talking about jurisdiction, legal entities, legal addresses, legal authorities. All those setups fall under legal structure. So I need to click on the legal structure. And here you see all required tasks are already displayed on the screen. But the one which we're going to cover up, it's not there. So I just click on the all task. And then there is a manage legal jurisdiction. So this is what we're going to cover up initially at this point of time. So let's understand what legal jurisdiction is all about. Okay. So legal jurisdiction, let's have little, small information about it. So legal jurisdiction is basically a specific zone or area where certain laws apply. So this could be a whole country, state, county, or district, a smaller area. So think of it as a rule of a land for a specific area or zone. So you have to follow them depending on where you are, means your company, where you're going to record that transaction for. For example, French labor law applies in France. Singapore transaction tax applies in Singapore. GST, goods and service tax, apply in India. US income tax applies in United States. Likewise. So laws are not universal. They depend on where you are doing business. So you may come across different types of jurisdictions. Okay, it could be income tax jurisdiction. It could be transaction tax jurisdiction. Right. So how to define that in system? So here you see on the screen, manage legal jurisdictions. I just click on that. That is a specific task, and you can look for any. Maybe right now, let's have a look on the income tax jurisdiction. So I just click on that category and I click on search button, and here I come. So you see, most of the countries' uh, legal jurisdictions are preceded in application. If you don't find your own, you can define uh, if it is not there. So you can just have to click on this plus sign. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to click on Colombia income tax or sorry, jurisdiction, and here we see what it means to define jurisdiction, right? So why do we create this? So this is the first place you officially register your company, your business to legally operate in that area, that zone, that territory. So think of it as getting kind of ID or identification number or whichever number is applicable. For now Colombia, it might be a different number, so they might call it NIT, NIT long form, kind of numbers. In India it is a TIN number, you know? So you need it before you can do anything else. That's what you have to have jurisdiction. For example, if your company wants to start business in Germany later and you register with the German authorities there, then that registration identifies your company legally. So every business needs one home base to officially recognized, to be recognized, right? So here, let's understand what all you have to do, define when you define legal jurisdiction in application, right? So what you see here on the screen is jurisdiction information. Okay, so it has what? It has its name. Okay, sorry, name, then territory. So it belongs to Columbia territory. And what is the category of this jurisdiction? Is for income tax purpose. So transaction tax might be different, and this is for income tax. Are you going to identify with this? Yes. Okay. Then it may have start and end it. So which is usually optional, right? As long as your company is doing business, it's going on, it's profitable, you don't have to give any end date. No. And then what your number or coding system that country has for that specific jurisdiction, they will allot it, right? You can add your purpose, business, legal function, and all. So if I choose one here, you can define for what purpose you are doing this. So whichever is applicable, you can define one for your entity, right? So when you say yes, what does it mean? It indicates the first jurisdiction a legal entity must register with to do business in a country. In that country means Columbia country. Okay. And then you can have subsequent registration codes. So legal reporting unit registration code. Okay. Legal entity registration code. So one is for reporting unit, one is for your legal entity. So registered entity might be different from the reporting entity. So whichever is law, whichever is rules you have in that land, you will follow that. So that was what we just covered as part of this small demonstration. So we just covered the jurisdiction part and how we have to define just by clicking on manage legal jurisdiction, and you have to find it, identify and qualify according to your needs, business needs, right? And then we are going to cover up legal authorities. So jurisdiction is one thing; it's a law of the land, okay? And then what about the legal authorities? So legal authorities may be, income tax legal authority. It could be transaction tax authority, likewise. So when you define the legal authorities, why they need, first you have to understand that. So legal authorities are basically a government organization or official body that has power to make rules, collect taxes, manage money for that specific area. So you can think of it as a government agency for money and laws in that specific country, and they make sure you follow the rules. For example, in the United States, IRS, that is Internal Revenue Services, okay, which collect taxes and enforces tax laws, and they ensure that everyone pays the right amount and follows the right in the tax code. In India, we have GST authorities for goods and service tax, right? So legal authorities are official bodies that enforces laws and manages finances in that jurisdiction. So for to define legal authority, first you have to define jurisdiction, and then you have to define legal authorities, right? Now, why it is needed authorities, why that information matters? It's because when you file taxes or report finances, a legal authority you report must be listed on your documents, means your reports, which proves that you are following the rule of that specific country. For example, if you report taxes in India or Brazil or maybe United States, the official legal authority for that country must be known on your tax reports. So it's like including that agency's name on your report. They are watching and verifying the business, right? So showing legal authority information on your report ensures a transparency and compliance with the local law, right? So how do we manage those local authorities, or sorry, legal authorities in application. So once jurisdiction setup is done, then you are going to go and click on legal authorities. So here I come, and then maybe this time I'll look for transaction taxes. I just click on transaction taxes, and country I select maybe United States, and click on search. So here you see US IRS Internal Revenue Services. So here on the screen, you can see the name, the tax authority type, okay, and why it is defined for. So here you can see, is it just for purpose of collecting, or is it for just reporting, okay, or it is for both collecting and reporting. For in case of this IRS, it is for both purposes, collecting and reporting. So you can mention the address, primary address, which you want to include for this, and then legislative category. So since it is related to transaction taxes, we have included as a transaction taxes. Okay, so you have many options to choose for. So whichever is applicable for your country and area, and for whichever category of tax or legal authority you're defining, according to you will select. Okay, so I'm not going to make any changes right now. Okay, I'm just keep as is. So I just showcased how you can add up if you have another purpose as well. Okay, that's how legal authority is defined. Now these two entities are related to your country, your jurisdiction, your territory, your country, and this is authority within that government, okay, which collects taxes from your businesses. Right? So it must be defined first, okay, and this is where they can be defined. Okay, first you define the legal jurisdiction, and then you define legal authority. Now we can also take a look at legal entities. So why do we need legal entity? Legal entity is nothing but your company which you have registered, right? And why do we define companies? For your financial transactions, to report to your government, your authorities, right? Which we have just. So IRS in US, income tax authority may be applicable for India, right? Which wherever you do that business, those setup must be defined. So this ensures that the system means the application, okay, this system knows what kind of rules are defined, which land of law we follow, what rules are mandatory to file income tax, to report your transaction taxes, right? So system knows which rules to follow, and then yeah, obviously you will have your tax related setups as well along with these setups. Okay, so let's have a quick view on legal entity addresses first. Why do we need addresses? Because that is the area where we identify our business for. So if I select India as a location and search for that India specific location, I have number of addresses which are already defined, because there are many legal entities in the system. If you don't have the address you are looking for, or your company registered in, you can add up here, add, and the system will accept, and this will be useful to you as and when you define your own legal entity, and then you attach that address or align that address with your legal entity. So this is just quick view to see the addresses. And where do we define these addresses? Under same financial legal structure, and then manage legal addresses. Likewise, we are going to see legal entities. So legal entities means uh, when we uploaded the initial implementation spreadsheet, that time we have created certain legal entities, and they will be showcased here. Okay. If not, sorry about that. If not, you can create the one you are looking for. Okay. just go back to same setup again. Wait, yeah, legal structure, manage legal entity. Okay. So I just click on the select scope first, and here is manage legal entity. So I'm not going to create new one. If you want to create new, you can create over here. But since as part of rapid implementation, you must have created your entities by uploading the CSV files, zip files, okay, and those you can just come here and view. So for this demonstration, I will just select the name. I can add additional criteria to select the country. Maybe I'll select okay, United, maybe, or maybe name I select region, which is a demo company to showcase. Here I just type United. Just click on search. Let's see if it comes. Yeah, over here. So Vision Corporation is one of the legal entity which is already defined in system. I just select that and save and close. And there I see the legal entity named Vision Corporation, identifier of that legal entity which you get from your legal authority. Okay? And for what purpose you have created this legal entity, your company? Is it payroll reporting, statutory reporting unit, or is it legal employer? Or do you have, holding company, subsidiary company relationship, and which one is, reporting entity, which one is just internally managed reporting to your holding company? So once you have that understanding from your team, you will click whichever is applicable for your scenario, business scenario. And here also you have start and end date, which is up to you whether you want to go for it or not. And then over here, you can qualify it as a primary uh, legal entity for your business. And you can add up if you want to. You can move address, you can edit, you can set as a primary, since it is set as a primary business unit. And that's how you search when you upload. If not, you can create your own entity. And apart from that, there is also manage legal reporting unit. So what does it mean? Why do we create a manage reporting units? Why it is needed? So I just click on that, okay, and it's already selected, and I'll select add. So vision legal entity selected. Is it the same entity is qualified or assigned as the reporting entity? If it is so and it's true for your business, you will select yes, which means your legal entity as well as your legal reporting unit is the same. It could be same. In some cases, some countries, for some business structure which has a lot of companies, thousands of countries under one umbrella, maybe they have a different scenario. In that case, you may have a different legal reporting unit. So this reporting unit is responsible to report all your financials management, all reports, statutory reports especially, okay, to government agencies, authorities, legal, right? So this is where you define them, okay? So I hope you understand the difference between the legal entity and legal reporting unit, right? And that's all for now. And thank you for your time. In next video, I'm going to cover the next part of the ledger, where we will record transaction, open the period, okay, basic things, and few setups which are mandatory to create transaction. Thank you for watching. See you soon.